Alright, Diablo gamers, there is a brand new update that just came out today, but it is critical that you pay attention to this video because there are a lot of brand new bugs in this patch. So, overall though, the patch is really set to go ahead and buff most of the classes. There are a bunch of different buffs where you're getting 20%, there's a 50, X over here, increase in terms of the buffs, and there was actually a pretty sizable number increase specifically on the Necromancer. They increased the Sanguinary Blade of Zir from 60% to 400, and I want to say take a lot of these buffs with a grain of salt as the items still suck, and I don't want people to be encouraged to be like, oh man, gotta lock in the Blade of Zir Necromancer build. When you do 100 times 0, it's still 0. The build simply does not actually function. So a lot of these really don't matter too much, but I'll go over some of the stuff that does matter. This actually absolutely matters with the brand new way to actually get your sparks, getting the reputation board. This is a huge upgrade and bonus. There is also a new event that is in the game, however there is maybe a bug with it because it's saying that it's giving us this boost. Now they never, I believe, announced this boost in the game. In fact, some of the stuff actually reset when you logged in today. Maybe it shows that season 8 just started because that's what happened when I logged in. So there are a lot of bugs that got introduced into this patch and I want to kind of go over those. But the first one that I want to go over, because I did go over all of these as far as all the numerical number changes. However, the one that got the highest increase was supposed to be with Barbarian, where you're getting basically double of the damage of Whirlwind. That's what they said over here, 100% damage increase. As far as I'm aware of, this is still not meta. So to kind of summarize all of these patch notes in terms of what's the new meta here, the meta has not shifted. However, I want to also mention that technically the Spiritborn got a mega nerf. Even though this was supposed to be basically all a bunch of buffs, they actually nerfed another bug in the game, I guess, and this actually nerfs the Spiritborn pretty hard. So as far as if you're wondering, is the pit leaderboards changing? The answer is no. However, the Druid's in a spot where the top tier push build over here, well, you can see over here, this player that completed this is pre-patch. So after the patch, basically what this means, if you go to the comments of this video, someone was saying that they were able to do pit 90s and now they can only do 60s. So basically the Spiritborn is in a state where, well, whoever got that rank 1 push, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat it even with the newer buffs because, well, they nerfed that build. So again, it was something that was maybe unintentional, but nonetheless, that's the reality of it. So I want to go over some of the new important updates here. So first off, the new update as far as the file size goes, it's 4.2 gigs, which is kind of weird if it's just a patch that was supposed to kind of just change some balance numbers buffs, right? However, I want to say that there is some sort of secret event that will be planned later down the line, which we'll talk about in a moment here. The meta is basically the same, except for the Spiritborn got major nerfs here. There's also this new Sparks farming method, which is broken easy. It's so ridiculous. So it's roughly 5 minutes if you actually just do the quest line, but you actually have to kind of juggle these items between. It's going to take you overall 10 minutes, and I actually want to focus in on this because this is the main reason why you'd want to log in right now. I don't know if they're going to patch this, but I feel like that this is just by a long shot, this is the fastest way. If you've ever wanted to get a Mythic, this is the ultimate way to lock in and get this. But I got to mention that there are some steps to this, and I want to go ahead and highlight this, as this is kind of the biggest W out of the entire patch that we got here. So first, step 0, as in you have to have these as a prerequisite. You have to have the bounty board unlocked and able to buy these scrolls. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go to some gameplay where I'll show you guys the brand new update where you can buy these new scrolls for the bounty board. Obviously, this is only for season 8 because this is the new seasonal update. So this is important. These brand new oath scrolls, they will cost the spectral ash, but again, you're going to have to obviously have the spectral ash in order for this to work. But if you've been playing the season, you just acquire it by playing the game. These are acquired very easily by doing any of the layer bosses, or if you go to the incursions or just kind of play the game, you'll get these. You need 59, but it is very important because I made this mistake. You need to make sure that you have your ashes filled in terms of the urns. If it is not, then you will need to get more than 59, but you need a total of 59 scrolls. Unfortunately, this does suck though here because they do not stack, so you have to basically remove all your consumables, all your potions, like the potions buffs, all the incense, stash those away. You're going to have to get another stash, basically unlocked here. And by the way, the amount that this holds in total here, each row is 10. So this will hold a total in one entire stash of 10 on each row, and it will total to be 50. You need 59 scrolls. That's the magic number that you need to get per character. And I promise you guys, this will be the best way to actually acquire all of your sparks. So again, I'm just kind of transferring these. And then what we actually do is we make a brand new character. I recommend the rogue, but it doesn't really matter. The reason why is because rogue can get movement speed on crit, and there's not very many other classes that can get movement speed, you know, early on. Obviously, this is counting that you have the extra skill points unlocked from the renown. But anyways, you just make a new character, and then you need to do this. This is actually something that's important because it ties into this. So make sure you have the earn max. You buy 59 scrolls, you make a new character. You have to complete the first part of the seasonal quest line. This will unlock the reputational board. I'll actually probably make a dedicated video towards this later because it is kind of important, but I want to give you guys a quick summary of the patch notes. But this is like the best part of it. So again, you have to do this. It'll take you about 10 minutes. You can lock in some of the skills, the boss powers. You can get the one that gives you crit, and any of the ones where you activate the boss power. The Varshan one is really good because it just one-shots everything. And then there's one for movement speed, so get that. You kill like a little like apparition boss over here. It in total, it'll take you probably 5 minutes to do this part, but there's a lot of dialogue in between. The total time is about 10 minutes, but like the gameplay part is about 5 minutes. It just has a lot of talking, okay? So anyways, you complete this very first part. Then you have to make sure, this is important, that you get to the point in the campaign for the seasonal quest line. Obviously, you make a character that has a campaign completed, but I'm talking about the seasonal questline campaign story where you have that, where it says Belial's Unveiling. Make sure that it says earn Unveilers before you start popping all those scrolls. You don't want to mess that up. So you do that, and then you go ahead and pop all of your scrolls, and then you're going to go to the NPC, and I'm going to go and show you guys after I've already accepted. I popped all the scrolls, and then you're going to see my character, it's only level 5, and I have completed the entire bounty board, and that is because I consume all of the scrolls. You want to make sure, again, I have to stress this, that you have the points into the urn maxed out, okay? If not, it's going to take more than 59, but obviously at this point, more than likely, everyone has at least gotten 4 points into the urn. You can respec into it, put it in there, and then you will have all of this completed. And yes, this will absolutely give you this spark, which is the most important thing. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward to where we get the spark. You can see that, yes, you can get a spark in about 10 minutes is the total time. You can obviously get a little bit faster, but for the most part, maybe like 8 minutes will be the fastest, but it's still something that's going to take a little bit of time. Again, there is a Mother's Blessing event, but this doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and just roll some like B-roll gameplay here in the background just so you guys have something visually to look at while I go over some of the big bugs that have been introduced that you definitely want to know about. So for starters, this is something that I've talked about for a very long time, but I want to stress this because this was posted recently, and this person actually lost a Mythic. Okay, this person straight up lost a Mythic. You guys can see over here. Let me make this a little bit bigger, but you can see his Mythic straight up disappeared, and I think I know why, and I'm gonna have to tell you guys, this bug has existed for a long time. There is a way to get around it. Do not, and I repeat, do not throw your items on the ground. If there are garbage items, you gotta salvage them. Unfortunately, when there's too many items on the ground, there's an overflow, and you can see this person's Mythic, he actually got a drop and it just poofed. So you don't want that to happen. To prevent this from happening, again, do not throw your garbage on the ground. The game has like a limited amount of items that can appear, and it deletes new items that appear instead of deleting the older ones. If they just change that, that could still fix the game essentially, but this is a bug that is very bad, and I don't want anyone to lose out on a Mythic. Another thing is the Crown of Lucian is blacklisted. You still cannot use this, and then on top of that, this person says they can't even do incursions. There are a few items that have been disabled. It's kind of something that is, honestly, it's kind of common with Diablo 4 where certain things are disabled, and they are working on trying to fix these, but you know, I just gotta let you guys know, just in case you guys like want to make a build that you really want to run this item, it still does not work. You can't do it. Now, this person over here reported that ancestral drop rates are nerfed everywhere. I haven't played that much of the new patch because it just came out today, but if you guys are seeing a lot less items, I don't know. This could be something to consider. This was technically posted 16 hours ago. because the patch was supposed to come out yesterday. Then it was tweeted out that it was coming out later today. Well, after the duration, but nonetheless, the patch is out. Okay, there are other bugs introduced into the patch. Now, this one is really weird. That Belial is removed from Eternal, so that kind of sucks. If you are an Eternal player, you can no longer do Belial for a moment. This doesn't really matter too much. It's just kind of annoying to have a pop-up. And then there is a Mother's Blessing event, but it doesn't seem like the XP is affected. There's also a bonus of gold. If you guys didn't know what Mother's Blessing is, they reintroduce this new little event here once in a while. You also get a boost to gold, but honestly, that doesn't matter. We all play Diablo here, and I'll tell you for sure, you ain't getting gold from the in-game. What you're getting gold from is you go trade items by using third-party different websites, and you just trade your items for gold, and that's how you actually get gold into the game. And then there is actually a lunar event icon in the map, but no NPC present there. So I have no idea what happened. This person said that they re-rolled to a previous maybe patch. So if you guys go to Kedbaru, there is a special event going on. Remember guys, this patch was 4 gigabytes. I just don't think that these number changes for the patch are actually just the changes. I think that there is an event coming very soon. So that's something that at least it kind of is a bug, but nonetheless, we do have more than likely an event coming out within the next week or two. I don't know what event they have planned, but maybe something along the lines of getting a reputation board, maybe getting an extra spark. But the method I just showed you guys is the ultimate way to get a spark. But yeah, this person is talking about the Belial over here, and there was a post over here by Pez Radar and Filthy Rich, and so Blizzard does know about this. My guess is within the next couple days or next week, they will more than likely patch this. But yeah, you just cannot do Belial, so I guess save your materials over there. And then this person is mentioning the exact same thing, and I just kind of wanted to bring this up to stress this again. You make sure that you get that 20%. I made the mistake the first time. So it's a total, if you want to know what the total is, it's 14,750 ash to basically get a spark. And also, whatever character that you're trying to get the spark on, all the other things, you can be level 1, or technically you'll eventually get to level 5 because of the seasonal quest line once you start completing it, but you will get Ancestrals and you will get GA items. So if you are creating a class, I told you guys Rogue is pretty fast, Sorc's probably also pretty fast, basically just not Necromancer because that class is slow, but basically, when you do the little thing, it takes you about 10 minutes, right? You may want to select the class, even though if you're playing Necromancer, it's a slower class. But you may want to lock in that class, and the reason why is you may want to get GAs for that class. You can maybe get a triple, quadruple GA that you're going to be able to actually utilize for that class. But again, if you're just I don't care about anything, I just want the spark, I think Rogue is objectively the fastest, but someone let me know if there's something faster. Again, there's just nothing that gives you that instant movement speed on a crit, and you can get 50% crit just with that one node, and you have base crit of 5, so it's 55% chance to get basically a big little movement speed buff over there, so that's kind of nice. But this is the thing that I wanted to go ahead and actually show off. So again, this is in Kedbaru over here. There's some sort of new event that's going to be happening that is a bug. I don't know what's going to happen with this, what it is, but I'll let you guys know ASAP. So that's basically the patch notes to kind of go ahead and sum it up again. Basically, the meta is the exact same. However, Sword of Zir still bad, and the Whirlwind Barb, even though they said it was a massive increase, we're gonna, if you again 100 times 0, like I mentioned before, is still 0, so that's why you get 600% damage. Sounds great. And then Whirlwind Barb 100% increase in damage. I mean, this is their own notes here, but when something is still super far behind, while the Pet Barbarian is still, as far as we are aware of, the best. So the meta hasn't shifted. Again, Spiritborn just is kind of in a weird spot because no one else can do this anymore because it's got nerfed. So we'll wait and see what they actually do with it. Maybe they'll fix. I heard that there's also some bugs still. This is something that was actually here, and I'll mention it. Unyielding. Unyielding was supposed to get fixed with certain things. Apparently, they are not all fixed. So if you guys are really excited about the top tier Spiritborn build, because if certain things work with Unyielding, it could have went crazy. As far as I'm aware of, it still doesn't work properly. So hopefully this will be addressed later, and I'll update you guys in a future patch video if things do actually change. But basically, at the end of the day, we are able to get sparks. So that's basically the good news. Is there are some small buffs, but again, if we're looking at the top tippity top of the builds, nothing is really getting changed as far as meta. Hopefully we'll get like a mid-season update where we get maybe some shifts up in the meta, or just some buffs to some of the things that still I think need some buffs. I'm talking about that Ice Shards build, Blizzard. Buff that one up, make that one the S tier build. That's your brand new build this season, and it's unfortunate that well, we're just kind of playing Lightning Spear still, which I don't mind. I'm not saying nerf not Lightning Spear. I just want the new stuff to be like pretty much within, you know, the reason of it being in the top tier for the builds. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to keep up to date with all of the Diablo and other action RPG news and other games. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out.